The next 6 problems are the skills practice type problems that we do on the do nows. We've been doing them for almost three weeks now, so almost 3 full cycles of these types of problems. Between doing all that and this review and this test, if you're still having problems with any of these algorithms or any specific types of these problems, you need to come in for tutoring and get some help, and these should be automatic by now. If we're adding, subtracting, or comparing decimals, we line up the decimals. So for number 7, I just need to line up my decimal. 29.5, 3.676, 3 and 676 thousandths, and I just need to add some zeros after my 5. If I have a decimal, I can add as many zeros at the end as I need to have the same number of digits. And we're adding here, so 0 plus 6 is 6, 0 plus 7 is 7, 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1. I should have lined up a decimal in my sum. 1 and 9 is 10, and 3 is 13, carry the 1. 1 and 2 is 3. So 33 and 176 thousandths. Number 8, we have 6 times 1.8. The trick for multiplying decimals is to ignore the decimal. So we act like we're multiplying 6 times 18. And if I were doing that, I would set it up this way: 18 times 6. Put the decimal back in, we need it at the end, but we're ignoring it as we multiply. 8 times 6 is 48, carry the 4. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 4 is 10. Then we ask ourselves how many decimal places in each of these factors. How many decimal places in this factor? There's 1 digit after the decimal, so 1 decimal place there. How many decimal places in this factor? I don't see a decimal. If it's not in sight, it's on the right, and there are no digits after it, so there are 0 decimal places in this factor. 1 plus 0 is 1, so I need 1 decimal place in my product, so I have to place the decimal right there. 10.8, 10 and 8 tenths. Problem 9. 14 over 2.8, 14 over 2 and 8 tenths is the same as 14 divided by 2 and 8 tenths, and I would set it up that way as a number sentence so that we can see what we're dividing by. We're dividing by 2 and 8 tenths. That is not a whole number. We need to always divide by a whole number. So I'm going to move this decimal 1 place to the right. I'm going to make it bigger to remind myself that I moved it there. And now I'm dividing by 28. So that's a whole number. I can do that as long as I move the decimal in 14 1 place to the right. But I don't see a decimal in 14. If it's not in sight, it's on the right. So it starts right there. I move it 1 place to the right, make a big decimal, and in that empty space I need to put a 0. So 140 divided by 28 will give us our quotient. 140 divided by 28. Not sure how many 28s in 140, so let's try 28 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14. I actually really didn't know off the top of my head, but if the first one you pick is low, try a higher number. If it's too high, then you go with the lower one, and then you'll have a remainder, and then add a decimal. You know how to do all this. 5 times 28 is 140. Subtract, we get 0, so the answer to this one is 5. Okay, number 10, 5/6 minus 1/4. Actually, I want to talk about number 10 in a little bit more detail, so I'm going to pick up the review with number 10 on the next video.